When you think about prioritizing these different initiatives, what are the different measures that you're using to prioritize?
I think often our customers don't know what to ask for. They either ask for things that are way too easy or ask for things that are way too hard. We don't have as good of a signal on that piece. We do have a signal from all our customer conversations and from our beta customers. So we're using that. On the competitive front, we are not a perfect corollary to products that we may be somewhat in competition with. And so just looking at what other people are doing is not a great way to measure that. Also, I think everyone is trying this out for the first time. I think the way that we're thinking about it is we need to get something in people's hands so that they can play around with it in a safe way and they can explore the possibilities, they can get excited about it, and they can actually start to implement some of these workflows within their organization. And so we very much focused on things that would be like easy to set up, easy to use, easy to see value, easy to understand within the context of an existing Airtable workflow. That's what we started with first. And the goal is really to get that to market. And then I think when we looked at these more experimental areas, we said, what are the big problems that our users face that AI could potentially solve? And what would that look like? And I think one of those big problems is there's so much data in an Airtable system that you have to have a really detailed knowledge of that data in order to see the linkages. And AI is a place where we could really surface that for you. And the other is that often people just don't know where to start, right? Unless you've created the space, unless you're a power builder, you may not know what to do. And so an interface that's more of a, hey, show me all of the deals that closed last week, or tell me all the projects that are off track, could be something that really helps to bring you into Airtable and engage you and give you things in the format that you really want.
In the press release or the launch blog post for Airtable AI, there was a mention that Airtable AI works with your existing workflows. That being a consideration for how you rolled out the feature, what were some of the other considerations beyond that? Was like the complexity of the project also a consideration? Because it seems like some of these different initiatives, they may vary vastly in terms of the complexity involved. For example, the Q&A project, I imagine retrieval and optimizing the RAG part is a lot more complex than with comment summary, for example. But I'm curious, like, what the considerations were initially and as you're prioritizing the roadmap.
As we thought about how we prioritize features, we definitely prioritized features early on that were complex to build, so quicker to market, but also less complex to figure out the product market fit, right? Because if you're giving someone a field and they can use a short template to get a prompt or to write their own prompt, they can try that out. You can do that in a user interview. You can do that in a beta. Within a minute or two, you can see the result and you can see whether that result is good and whether that result makes sense. And by running our alpha and beta programs, we've seen real use cases where people are using this and it being beneficial to them. I think in a project that is more complex technically, but also more complex to figure out the value to people, like a Q&A project, there's just a lot more to figure out.